stay shooting, feel like Nirvan. In the internet, he different person. Yeah, I riding that end with the top down. You not no gangster nigga, put them Glocks down. Yeah, stay shooting like I'm Nirvan. Shoot like I'm Nirvan. Stay shooting like I'm Nirvan. Shoot like I'm Nirvan.
All right, what's up, guys? I'm doing this. It's DotComNirvan. This is the second episode of my podcast, the DotComNirvan show. Thanks for joining. Thanks for having me and all that cool stuff. This is my second time doing the intro because my sister says I held the mic in front of my face, which is fucking annoying. But we roll with the punches over here. So I did a poll on Instagram asking, do you want another solo episode or do you want me to have a guest on and interview him and talk to him and all that? And so people said, we want a guest. You talk too much Nirvan, everyone hates you. So I got a guest on, and I think it's a very appropriate guest to have as my first one because he's really like one of the first guys I was listening to when I entered like into the realm of music that I listen to now and work with. And his name is Supa Bwe. He was part of a group and still is. They recently rejoined called Her Everybody, and he's an awesome guy and great musician. We just did the interview, so I'm doing this intro afterward, and it was an awesome interview. I think you guys are really gonna enjoy it. So yeah, let's get into the interview. And thanks for watching in advance. And yeah, good. What kind of papers are you using?
1.25s.
1.2. That's like a little bit extended from the just like original.
It's not the 1.0s, but it ain't the 1.5s. You feel me?
Yeah. That's a nice medium. That's like the right amount to get you where you're trying to go.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I can put a punch in here, but all right. Let's get to the meat. I'm gonna ask you something.
Okay, yeah. Go for it. Yes.
All right. In your honest opinion, who would win in a fight? Sober Post Malone or drunk NBA YoungBoy?
Drunk NBA YoungBoy by so far. One, the drunkenness adds like +5 aggression or so, I'd say. Yeah. And if you see Post Malone interviews, he seems like such a like kind soul. Maybe
he hit somebody with a beer bottle quick.
Right. That's true. If aggravated, then yeah, he's probably gonna go for it. But I feel like, yeah, maybe if you take the booze away from him, because he's always drinking Bud Light and shit, so maybe he'll be more on edge if he's just sober.
All right. 3 famous decks or 1 NBA YoungBoy?
3 famous decks probably, because Dex is pretty.
YoungBoy, I think YoungBoy's kind of invincible.
YoungBoy is as invincible as a human being could possibly be, I'd say. But Dex, I feel like, is super. Like he used to be an athlete and shit. I'm pretty sure he played basketball, and I think that he could hold his own in a fight. Yeah, and the guy's shredded. Like if you see like interviews where he has like his shirt off or music videos and shit, the guy's shredded. So yeah, I'd say he could do some damage.
But he like hood nigga shredded. He not like I work out shredded. He just like I got good ass jeans shredded.
Yep, and that's a really good point because I was gonna say like. For me to maintain the low levels of tone that I got going on, I gotta be every day, like put an hour in, like in the gym or at home now with quarantine and shit. And I feel like some guys like Dex, it's just like, oh, I was born and I have an 8-pack and like, fuck you, like I'm,
100%.
Yeah.
All right. Here's another one.
Yeah.
Who do you think will win in an all-out bloodbath? Adrian Broner.
Okay.
One Adrian Broner, or 3 NBA YoungBoys. Yeah, there you go. That's it.
Is Adrian Broner the super big, huge guy? Is he the MMA fighter?
No, see, I fuck around. I'm mixing my fighters up. I'm thinking of Adrian Broner. I think he's that boxer, low key, who could have been Floyd Mayweather, but it's not. I was trying to say that big, terrifying motherfucker. What's his name? He big as hell. Deontay Wilder. That's what I'm talking
about. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Man. Or 3 of who?
Or 3 YoungBoys.
Dude, I feel like 3 YoungBoys.
You think 3 YoungBoys gonna beat?
I think 3 YoungBoys because I think one of them's going for the eyes. One of them's going. They're fighting 3 YoungBoys fighting super dirty against one man. Like they're gonna chop him down like a tree, in my humble opinion. Like one of them's gonna take his ACLs out. decrease the mobility. One's gonna go for visibility, and the other one's just gonna be
going.
yeah, get you in some locks and stuff. I don't think the technique he's really gonna have, but as far as the pure power, I think I'm gonna have to go with 3 young boys.
So as far as like, I would say zones of go, like Florida, Atlanta, New York, California. Who do you think, if there was like a hip hop war, which state would win as far as ferocity and combatants go?
Man,
I think Chicago would win. Obviously, I'm from Chicago, and we got more guns than everybody else, except for maybe.
I was gonna say you think so it's not just fisticuffs, it's like guns and anything goes.
Yeah, it's just like full war, like.
Yeah. Chicago. I think Atlanta could have something to say about it. Yeah, because even I have friends from Atlanta who are like I have a friend who I don't want to say anything specific about him, but like just anyone will be like, yeah, I have a gun. Like, what, you don't? Like, huh? Like, it's just like so normal. Not because they're like doing some crazy shit, but because the chances of getting robbed or something like that are decently high. So it's honestly for like protection.
Like, no matter like where you're from, I had to look around. I was like, yeah, where my bitch at?
Yeah. What would you do if you looked down and it was just not there for a second? Do you ever like misplace it or anything?
No, hell no.
Yeah.
Hell no. Never in my life. I damn near like I'd be nervous. Like, you can ask my girl Alex, what do I do all day long? Like, what comes with me everywhere I go in the house? She said, "Oh, you're talking about your gun?"
Yeah. He sure is.
All times, like I got one upstairs, I got one downstairs, I got one in my studio, but I always keep one with me, no matter what. My Glock 19 go everywhere I go.
Right. See, I'm the other way. Guns kind of just make me nervous, like even the presence of them. I went firing one time, like with my dad for Father's Day. It's Mother's Day right now, by the way, so shout out to all the moms. But I went for Father's Day. Yes, sir. I went for Father's Day one time, and we were doing like target shooting, and it just like the potential of like this could like really hurt someone or take a life, like it was just too much for me, like mentally.
I feel like when I was younger, I really felt that way, but in 2000, I think like in 2014, like I've been in situations where motherfuckers like have been shooting, or they're not shooting at me, but just shooting at motherfuckers I'm with or around and shit like that. But it's never been really in my face until I was working at the music garage. I had a studio and we squashed the beef, but this kid, he was really high and he was tweaking and came in my studio. Got a fight over cigarettes, and I used to smoke cigarettes. And he up-poled on me and tried to kill me, but his shit jammed, and we like got into a big fight over that. And
no fucking way.
Yeah, like I always had like just like a dirty piece that I kept at the crib, just like for some other shit, you know, just in case I need to go get some shit.
Right.
Had a legal piece, like what I just told you right now is legal. And then like after that experience, it really like hit me on some different shit that like, damn, like I need to have something that I can just keep on me at all times. That I can just, because we had something in the studio, but it was like, damn, if I kill this nigga right now, then I'm gonna get in trouble for this, and then like, you know what I mean, like all types of shit. Like there was nothing I could.
Right.
So like I love the feeling. I consider it like a rite of passage, like how Romans walk around with swords and shit.
Yeah, at all times.
Like motherfucker, you just gotta have your sword so niggas don't rob you, kill you, do whatever they want to do with you. And once you're in that situation and you make it out that situation, you'll never be without your sword again. Like never again.
Right. That's a good point. Does it feel like a safety blanket almost? Like it's like an extra layer of comfort?
I'd be anxious going outside. I'd be anxious going to the corner store. I'd be anxious going to a grocery store. Just because I live in like a very like predominantly Hispanic neighborhood. And Huh? How? Tell me not anymore. Yes, it is. He said it's gentrified. Whole time, like, I'll be walking down the street and, like, motherfuckers be slowing down in their cars, eyeballing me, like, asking me what I am and shit. Like, on some 90s weirdo shit. Like, what you is.
Wow. Like, your race?
No, I'm obviously black, but motherfuckers be like, are you GD? Are you Vice Lord? Are you Stone?
Oh, yeah.
Are you over here, black boy? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
and how do you respond in that situation?
A lot of times you just got to ignore it because it's like, it's potentially a shootout. You know what I mean? It's potentially, like, somebody going to die or get beat up, or...
Yeah.
Next week, you don't even remember the motherfucker's face, but they mad because you said fuck you and they shoot you. You know what I mean? You don't.
Yeah. Right.
It's be goofy shit. But when it's on me, like I feel more confident. I don't really feel like I'm not really worried about it. You know what I mean? It's like, but when I don't have it on me, the first thing I'm thinking is like I need to get home and get my motherfucking.
Yeah. Get back to safety.
Yeah. But I can understand like how it might make you nervous, you know what I mean? Because it's a heavy responsibility. I took a concealed carry class, and it really let me know like the weight of the responsibility. Like even when you fire, you got to be thinking about like what's behind the target. You know what I mean? Like even if you hit
pedestrians or whatever.
Yeah, bro. I never really thought.
Yeah.
Until I took that class.
Right. That's true. So like the way that you went about it, doing it like legitimately and everything like that, do you feel like do you feel like you learned that it was a necessity based on where you're from, or what was like the first thing that made you think like, okay, yeah, like this is something that that I'm not going to get like as a destructive thing, like this is something for my own safety?
Yeah. Once I really started getting lit, and I noticed people had disdain for me simply because of where I was. You know what I mean? Like generally, this is who I am. This is how I speak. This is how I carry myself all the time.
Yep.
There's no reason for people to beef with me. You know, motherfuckers don't be like, oh, he seemed like he from a different set. I seem very neutral. I don't gangbang.
Yeah.
I'm just a normal dude. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I feel like that kind of doesn't matter in certain places. It don't really matter in Chicago. It don't really matter in Atlanta. It don't really matter in certain parts of Florida because people associate you with like a bounty target damn near. It's like if I do something to this person, then I got their notoriety. If I do something to this man, I'm gonna run his pockets. I'm gonna do, you know what I mean? It's always a come up, whether it's clout or financially. So you just gotta be like I said in the beginning with the Roman analogy. Got to carry a sword. You want to keep your goal. I want to keep my goal. You know.
Right. Do you think like how you said that you're neutral? Do you think people are pretty willing to like to let that pass? Like, oh, he's just some guy like doing his own thing.
It's definitely in Chicago. I can't speak for other places, but here, gangbanging is so old and entrenched and like a part of our everyday society that you don't get no points for fucking with civilians. You don't get no points for bothering a normal motherfucker. So people like me, it's just like I might get bothered. The only time I ever get bothered really is like over my girlfriend or with the music shit. You know, you be outside and motherfuckers just be crazy, trying to do grab ass, all types of retarded shit, or excuse me, crazy shit. And otherwise I don't really have no problem. I just be cooling, you know what I mean? If you mind your business, you good pretty much everywhere you go. But sometimes motherfuckers pull your car, you know?
Yeah, 100%. The way that you corrected yourself when you said the R word right there, do you find yourself doing that more and more this day and age?
I think it's something that I've always been aware of. I know it's wrong. It just slips out because I'm a little bit older than most people in the rap game. And when I was growing up, you know, saying things like, I'm just supposed to be clear, saying things like, oh, that's gay or that's retarded. We didn't know. We had no clue what that meant, you know?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
No, it's just like our older brother said that, our uncle said that, our father said that. We saw it on TV. We didn't know. So like, you know, I feel like a lot of black men make a conscious effort to not say those things and not offend people, but it slips from time to time, you know?
Right. That's very true that you just like don't know when you're younger, and it's just like the norm to kind of speak that way without thinking about it. Do you notice that bleeding over into your music? Like you're more conscious of the things you say? Cause when you early music from you was very like, you know, like aggressive and intense and stuff. So do you notice that like affecting it at all?
Yeah. As I get older, you know, I don't think it's a thing like where I realize there's power in my words. Like I don't feel that way about it. I just feel like I'm just grown, you know what I mean? Like in certain moods and stuff, I just don't really have a need to express those or be so open about it. Like when I was younger, I was a real open book, just like, this is what I'm going through. Fuck the world, fuck everybody. And like now I'm getting money and shit. Like my life is good. I got like a super hot girlfriend. Like I live in a really nice 3-bedroom apartment. I'm not really, you know, like. Right. Shit decent, you know? So like really like I just be exploring a different type, a different vibe, just more exploration rather than telling this fucking abysmal story that is my life, you know?
So when the times that you were living in, like what you were going through called for that, you were doing that, and then now that things are better, you just don't feel the need to.
Basically, everybody goes through that, you know what I mean? I'm just at that age where like that shit not cool to me no more, you know what I mean? Like like I could talk about when I used to be off Xanax and shit every day. I could talk about when we used to be outside fist fighting and stealing and shit, you know, and just doing shit, robbing motherfuckers. Like we could talk about that all day long, but at the same time, it's like I don't even really identify with all that shit no more, and I don't even really remember a lot of that shit because I was on drugs. So I don't even care, you know, like, like it's like high school. Like, you know, you think back at high school and like some shit that was so important to you back then. It's like, I don't even remember what that tasted like. I don't even know, you know?
Right. It means nothing. Your priorities just completely changed. So the art you make probably does too, right with it.
Exactly. Because back then there was no priority. It was just like, this is what I'm going through. This is how I feel. I'm an unstable, angry person. And obviously those life experiments or experiences still matter. They still quantify to the greater, you know, sum that is me. But at the same time, you know, like I just am on some 2020 shit, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. The past is the past and right now is right now. Yeah.
Yeah. And I've been doing this shit for so long, like since 2007. So like I have no choice but to evolve. I can't stay stagnant because there's only so many things you can say, you know, like really.
Right, absolutely. When you were back then and like going through all these things and it reflected in your music, was it like you'd be feeling like this intense emotion and then you would go through a studio session? Did you feel different at the end of the studio session, like you got something off your chest, or did you pretty much you still carried that weight with you?
In a sense, it's like it's momentary. You know what I mean? You get high and you feel good, and then the high wears off, and you gotta get high again. So like, for example, like after certain life events, like even the one I told you about with the music garage with the near shooting, there are songs that I made right after that, and you can hear it in the songs. You know what I mean? You can hear the paranoia and the anger and like just everything pouring out. But yeah, after a while, you know, it don't really serve a use. You know, I can say in the moment, it was good to express that because a lot of us don't have therapy. A lot of Black and brown kids don't have access, don't have the resources, whatever it is, to have therapy. So with us, our therapy sessions be us confiding in our friends, tapping into the culture, hearing other people, sorting through the culture, finding the pain that matches our own the best and attaching to that music. You know what I mean? And so for myself, I was making that music for myself because I couldn't hear it no more. Hurt Everybody, we made that music because it didn't exist nowhere else. We had to make that shit. And I would listen to that shit when I felt that way and be like, damn, like I'll be talking to myself, making myself feel better. And now as an adult, as a full-grown adult, I can listen back to that, understand what was happening, and I have a harder time relating to it because, you know, to me, again, it's like the high school thing where it's like, it's not that serious, bro. You know what I mean? Like, just move studios. Stop going to that studio. What you keep going to that studio for? When are y'all going to get shot? You know what I mean?
Right.
Don't be talking to people's girlfriends because motherfuckers going to try and shoot you. Don't be fucking stay away from this side of the city. Just don't go back on this side of the city. You did too much dirt. Don't go over there no more. Like, you know, these are things I would do now. And back then it was like, I don't give a fuck. I'm still there. Like,
Right, definitely. And in that youthful age, there's probably, I feel like in that age, there's more of a like self-destructive tendency, just like in all like young men.
Yeah, that's like pinpoint because like really, I feel like for a long time when I was like really deep into drugs and really like super bad alcoholic, like I would say like 21 to like 23 when I was really just like attacking people. There used to be like, I'm sure you've seen a bunch of them, like hella fight videos on the internet of me just attacking people, like pulling up.
Really?
We're talking shit.
I haven't actually. Yeah.
It's I'm sure they're still on the internet. They're everywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, like back then, like that was everything to me. Like to me, it was like my name is my name. Like anybody who talks on my name, like I'm gonna show up and do it to you on video. You know what I mean? To protect my name or protect myself. And as an adult, I think back and I'm just like, that shit wasn't necessary. And it came with a lot of like blowback. Like there's a whole 3-year period where I wasn't allowed to perform in a lot of places in Chicago because like we would just places and beat people up. And the best place to catch people is at venues, you know?
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
See, that's interesting because, yeah, go on.
No, go ahead. My bad.
I was going to say that's really interesting because from an outside perspective, like I think I was a junior in high school when I first heard you and Hurt Everybody. And well, first I want to ask, did you realize like during that time, that exact moment that like there were kids in like Sacramento, California, for example, where I was at, like taking acid and like listening to your music and like loving it? Did you realize that your reach was that far?
Yeah, I didn't know. I could see that it was a big net because I went to Europe and people like didn't know how to say nothing to me except for like Supa and Hurt Everybody. They would be like, oh blah blah blah,
crazy.
Supa Bwe, oh blah 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 blah, Hurt Everybody, you know. And like, but what I didn't realize was how close we were to like really being legends. You know what I mean? Like we have this analogy amongst the group that like we made it to the playoffs and walked off the court. You know what I mean? Like never finished the game, just stopped playing. And Yeah, I guess we just don't understand the gravity. Like now it's crazy because like I'll meet kids who have been like fans or listeners, whatever, supporters since like 10 years ago, you know what I mean? And they'll be like, damn, like my brother who I used to bring with me is dead now. Oh fuck. Sorry.
That's all right.
Yeah, I have a lot of fans who like inherited our music from just like other people in their lives who like are no longer with them. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like it's a significant, I won't use the word niche, but it shows that the music holds a certain significance in a certain demographic of people. And I think that demographic is people with trauma. You know what I mean? Like anybody trying to experience and understand what is becoming an adult, what is navigating through this life, where do I fit in? Like, am I a warrior? Am I a tutor? Am I both? What am I? Like,
yeah.
Why do I feel this way? Does this hurt? Do other people hurt the way I hurt? Is it normal to hurt like this? Like these are topics that in 2013 through 16, when we were running, people weren't really touching on. Like I didn't really hear nothing really about that, you know? And it's cool. I feel like Hurt Everybody was a really special, cool thing. And I'm glad that like we're kind of trying to do it again. You know what I mean? Like I don't know what's gonna happen, but I'm really excited to see, you know, the music sounding crazy. Like everybody's so much like growner. It's easier to get along. Like I don't know. Back then we were just fucking dirty ass, broke,
hot-headed. Yeah,
just like idiots.
Yeah, but I think everything you were saying it's so crazy you say that, because when I remember back on my friends who were really like listening to you guys, because I feel like especially the some of the videos, like you guys, it was like a real moment, you know? So some of my friends who were with me experiencing that moment, you know, you have your different groups, but they very much fall into that category that you were talking about of kids who like were going through some shit or like trying to like figure out like a little bit more like heady and like thinking about things like a lot and like angry or confused or like all these things, but like also very artistic and shit. Those are the type of friends that were really like impacted by you guys. So it's crazy to hear you say that.
Yeah, I think it's one of those things. It's just like a beacon, you know what I mean? Like a lot of kids, like that's why me and Kari are really far apart in age. When me and Kari met, I was 16 and I was like 23 or something like that. And it was crazy though, because we matched, I wouldn't say we matched intellectually, but like our intellectual hunger was the same. Like his thirst for knowledge matched mine. We both wanted to understand the human condition. We both wanted to understand human emotion. We both wanted to understand why Black fathers shared flaws, why their grandfathers had that flaw, generational trauma and shit like that. We were having conversations like that, and I couldn't find those conversations elsewhere, and it would translate into the music. You know, like it would, like some of our greatest songs were literal. Like before this war, I was a lover before this war. We were listening to TV on the radio and talking about like just how, you know, he has a kid, and he was saying like how having a kid like has made him harden and like the world ain't the same no more. And I was talking about how like my ex-girlfriend had like cheated on me, but I was cheating on her, and we were like doing dirt on each other and lying to each other to like as like a competition, like a weird thing. And like that's how the song I Was a Lover Before This War, like everybody's nice before like they get scarred. Everybody's cool before the fight starts. And then once it's wartime, you just you become a different person trying to keep up, you know?
Right.
You don't have to compete. If you choose not to compete, you can preserve yourself and continue growing. But yeah, that's like conversations like that. That's what our group is based on, you know?
Right. So some of these things that like these conclusions that you came to that made your life, I mean, it seems the way you describe it, like it seems like now you're in like a really good place and stuff. Do you think that was a process of you learning and like you had to go through that to get to the other side, basically where you're at now?
Yeah, I wouldn't even say like I'm at the other side. I just think like for anybody, if people who hit like rock bottom, everybody's rock bottom is different. You know what I mean? Like if you hit your rock bottom and you still got your tenacity intact, you can keep moving through it. You know what I mean? You can climb out of it, dig your way out of it, whatever it is. But if you get rocked and you don't have no support system, that's how you really stay down. And I would say that when I met Hurt Everybody, that was the support system that I needed at the moment. And then the Hurt Everybody thing ended, and it kind of led into me and my girlfriend, who were best friends before we dated, meeting each other and meeting all these different people with different perspectives. Like Kari was less of a warrior than I was. Kari was very, let's think about this, let's talk about this, what happens next. Me, I was very reactive, like, them niggas said, what? we finna what? You know what I mean?
Right, yeah.
I needed to run into Kari to kind of tame my ego and my fire. And then with my girlfriend, she helped me realize that like I had an issue with my view or my image of women. Like I just didn't even know that was the thing. Everybody thinks like, oh, I respect women. I'm cool. I don't do fuck shit. Like if I don't do fuck shit, then I respect women. But like, there's so much more to it than just like not being a fuck nigga,
Right.
Yeah, all these things, like, I know, like, I don't know. At this point, all the 14-year-olds watching are like, what the fuck is he talking about?
Yeah. They're typing simp right now, yeah.
Yeah, they're definitely firing the simp cannons. Yeah, man, I don't know. Like, after you live a lot of life and you start achieving shit, and, like, for me, like, I did the shit I never thought I would do. Like, as a shorty, I used to hop the fence to Lollapalooza to get into Lollapalooza because I was too poor to go. I couldn't afford tickets.
Wow.
To go all the way to I'm performing. I got all my closest friends with me. We VIP this. I'm in the golf carts and shit, going crazy. We driving through the crowd. People are like, Supa, going crazy. Like, yep. It's like shit like that. It's crazy as hell. And like, I always thought to myself, yeah, when I get there, I can't wait to shit on the niggas who shitted on me. I can't wait to LOL this and la la la. And those moments don't come. You know what I mean? Like when you get there, it's kind of just like you held grudges and all those logs you threw into the fire that you needed to feel yourself to get to that moment. You realize like the moment's not what you thought it would be, and like there's so much more to life. There's so much more. Like there's just so much more. I don't know. Like,
yeah.
I just did all that shit. Like I always thought to myself, like I want to touch 100K. I want to have 100K in my hand. Once you touch that shit, it's just like, damn, like this ain't shit. This ain't your shit. You know what I mean? Or like, I'm gonna have this Gucci. I'm gonna get this and that, and you put it on. You sitting there, and this is like, damn, I got ketchup on this motherfucker. Why did I buy this? Like,
right.
Yeah, I mean, like all that shit don't matter, bro. All that shit don't matter.
Right. That's such an interesting thing that you say, because that's kind of like when people win the lottery, for example. Like you could go from $0 to like $1 million, but your baseline, like if this was your baseline, and then you make a bunch of money, it still becomes your new baseline. You really internally probably won't feel that different. So that's interesting for you to say, yeah.
Yeah, 100%. Like if I can encourage anybody watching this to do anything, is don't get lost in the noise. Like there's so much noise on the internet. There's so much opinions. Like there's so many routes and cheat sheets and this and that. Ignore all that shit. Find people who want to talk about deeper things the same way you do, who aren't tired of that shit, and grow yourself. And the faster you grow yourself, the faster you can get on with your entrepreneurial skills, with whatever you're doing in life, art, be it finance, whatever the fuck you do, you can fast track it by knowing and loving yourself faster. You know what I mean?
Right.
I'm making really dope music right now. I feel like I'm making best music of my life. I feel like I'm making a lot of really meaningful connections and relationships. And these are all things I couldn't do when I was like super fucked up, super angry and bitter and salty all the time. You know what I mean? Mad that I was a black person in America living a black person in America's life, you know?
Right. Yeah. So for you, do you feel like with the new music, for example, do you feel like the thought comes first, or because that's a big transition to make, because you still like use your voice like very intensely, but in like a totally different way. So like, what was that transition like from then to now?
I honestly haven't even noticed it. I couldn't, like when I hear it, when I sit down and listen to it, like my projects, I can hear the difference. But while it's happening, I don't know what's happening because it's not like a tactic or a planned thing, which is why I kind of find beauty in it, in the process. And I think it is a part of my longevity. You know what I mean? Like I learned a long time ago, if you don't like, in high school, I taught myself this. If I keep switching masters in high school, I moved from like the hood to Oak Park, which is like super white, like rich people, super fucking rich people. And I had to learn a whole different etiquette. I had to learn a whole different way of life. I had to like, I just didn't understand anything. You know what I mean? Like a white boy would bump past me or some shit and be like, get the fuck out my way, bitch. And I would beat his ass. And everybody would be like, not cool.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what the fuck you mean not cool? I'm raw as
really?
ass. Like, it was different. It was like the whole thing was different. Like, you know how like white culture be like, motherfuckers be all like,
like totally
conflict.
Yeah,
Bro.
yeah. That's crazy you say that, because I grew up in like a very, very, very predominantly white, waspy, Republican, Trump-loving place. You know, like which is fine. Like I don't know. But it was kind of confusing for me because I'm like Middle Eastern, so I'm kind of like between the two sides. And then when I started with the video stuff more, being around like a whole different culture than I went to high school and college with and all these things, that was definitely, there was a process of shifting between those two mindsets, and just like, yeah.
And it's hard because you like, you know, you gotta start wearing masks. Like I started wearing Abercrombie polos and shit and boat suits, Aries and shit. And it worked. You know what I mean? Motherfuckers were like, oh, what's up? You know, now niggas is receptive and shit. And after a while, I was like, man, I hate these kids. I hate these little racist motherfuckers. Like every time we get drunk, motherfuckers like saying nigga and this and that. Wow. They used to call me Black Freddie G. Like back in high school, I was the only Freddie in high school. And yeah, I was the only one. So like the black was
the only what?
Necessary. I was the only Freddie, and they would be like Black Freddie. Like my homie John one time I called him, John, what you on? I'm at Jordan Gillett's party. Can I slide? Let me ask. Yo, can Freddie slide? I can hear it in the background. They're like, Freddie who? Black Freddie? No, he's gonna fight, man. He's gonna fight. Like it would be shit like that all the time. Like even to my face sometimes, motherfuckers would be like, yo, Black Freddie, what up? And I'd be like, I'm the only Freddie. It's just me. Like I'm the only Freddie, man.
Wow.
Shit like that. It can like, although it sounds like kind of funny, and it's like you can brush it off.
No, but that sounds, yeah.
Little interactions like that weigh up on you. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So eventually, like I got to the age where I was like 23. I got to like a fuck white people point in my life where I was like, man, fuck all these motherfuckers. Like all these motherfuckers is evil. Even if they're not evil, they are oblivious to my life. They're oblivious to like what I go through. They don't care what I go through. And like really, again, the deeper connections that I made with people along the way really helped me get over those traumas. Like everybody's music was about growing up in a white establishment as a black piece that they reminded you every day that you didn't fit. You know what I mean? Like,
wow. Yeah. I
just got a text from the Hurry Back group chat. This is all.
Oh, wow. It's meant to be. That's predestined. That's so insane to hear about, because a lot of people, that just reminds me so much of the environment that I grew up in, pretty much since I was like 8 until through high school, and then in college there was a little more diversity. But yeah, people can be really just like clueless, you know, like they have because there hasn't been many consequences in a lot of these primarily Caucasian areas, so they don't know what like the impact of these things could be.
Yeah, and I get it now. Like now as an adult, I have like way more empathy. I understand that like some people just don't have like that capacity for empathy or whatever because they've never had to use it, or vice versa, or whatever the fuck. And you know, all I can do again is not wear no mask. Like I can wear a defensively racist mask to protect myself from harm that I think is coming, that I'm expecting, which probably will come, or I can just be water. You know what I mean? Like Bruce Lee said,
just flow with it. Yeah. And then when you were younger, you went with the first, or you're probably more ready to fight to defend yourself.
I mean, my mom is from England, and growing up, like I feel like everybody just thought we were weird as hell. You know what I mean? So, and I grew up on Chicago Avenue in Lockwood, so I just was fighting my whole life, just boxing and shit. Like I'm really good at boxing just from growing up.
yeah, right.
Yeah, so like with me, like I never, even now as an adult, I know it's fucked up and tacky. I try my hardest to not fight, but I still enjoy a good punch.
A good punch from time to time, yeah. Have you thought about doing any like formal training? Because I have some friends who do like jujitsu, like MMA training and all this shit. That could be like an outlet for it.
I feel like for everything, all the gratification that I would get from it, it's not worth the actual physical risk. Like I don't want to get my ankle broken and just have a fucked up ankle for the rest of my life. You know what I mean? Like I already broke my hand so many times from punching stupid. My hands are all fucked up. I don't need a fucked neck too, you know? Like,
yeah, definitely. When you say punching stupid,
I through in high school, and like I
really?
Until freshman year of college, and since I didn't go to like college, I went to a junior college. I had to practice with the city team, and them niggas like their thighs were as big as my fucking chest. You know what I mean? And like I was just like, man, like I like this shit, but like this is not worth the crippling
pain. Yeah. Some Samoans on the team, some big Samoan guys.
Always some fucking Samoans.
Yeah, dude, they love rugby. They dominate that sport, as far as I know. But those outlets, I feel like those outlets are important, and I'm sure, of course, that music was like a big one. Yeah, like for me personally, like, it's not like, I feel like music is a much more like cerebral and like intense art form than like video editing and like directing, for example. But there's times where like I'll feel like a certain way, like angry about something or XYZ, whatever it may be, and then when I sit down and have like a 5 hour editing session, I come out of it feeling like just 10 times better, which is crazy because
that's because I think we've talked about this before. It's because sometimes people find the proper outlet, and once you find the proper outlet and you're at a certain level of in tune with yourself, you have access to cathartic moments. You know what that means, like catharsis?
Where it's like flowing through you basically, and it's like,
yeah, where it's like you kind of like, whether it's under the influence or anger or sadness, you in it, you black out. You don't. It's 5 hours later, and it's like, this is good work, and I feel better. I can sleep well tonight. I can.
Yeah, best feeling in the fucking world.
Yeah, and like certain people find that, and like if you find something that can bring you a catharsis, then that's damn near your calling. And sometimes you can get it from multiple places, and like that, you're just a blessed person who has that, because there's no greater joy or pleasure than when work and obsession meet. Like, I'm obsessed with drawing pictures, and my job is to illustrate. Damn.
Yeah.
I'm obsessed with making music. My job is to make music. You're obsessed with like visual arts and video editing. Your job, you know what I mean? Like, and then that's when you black out, and just like, I can black out. I be having those moments all the time, like all the time. Like, I don't really do drugs no more, but sometimes I'll pop me a little ass Klonopin. You know what I mean? Give me a little ass, I'm having a rough day. Klonopin.
Sure. Naturally, yeah.
I'll put to like fucking 4 a.m. spazzing, and everything's usable. Everything is just like really raw. Like, you know what I mean?
Right.
Like, when I was younger, I used to like get really drunk, and I would have catharsis moments. I would get super high, like black out off the Xannies, and have those moments. I would wake up and have. There was times we did an EP in 17 hours. It's called the 24-hour EP, but it was 17 hours. And because we black out, all of us had that ability. Malone Beats has that ability. Kari has that ability. We all have the ability to turn off us and be perfect autopilots. And and that shit's a blessing, bro. That's how you know you really like where you're supposed to be. Like, this is really what you're supposed to be doing.
Yeah, that's good to hear. And also, like, just the feeling of you start working on something. Maybe the first 20 minutes is a little more like manual, like you're in manual mode, like going through it. But then all of a sudden you blink, and like, again, like 4 or 5 hours has gone by, and in front of you is just either like a few songs, or for me, like a huge part of the video that I'm editing has been completed, or like something like that. And there's like, it's so therapeutic, and like, it's like you were like meditating for 4 or 5 hours, like you were elsewhere. And like, I think another thing that it is like, you're not worrying about your ego whatsoever in this moment. It's like, it's just about creating this other thing. So you don't have to worry about yourself and like, what does this person think of me, or like what's going on like in my life and shit. It's just like you and what you're making, basically. And that's like a super rare, like, beautiful thing.
It is. Like, I feel like the greatest athletes, the greatest entertainers, people who are GOATs in general, are those people who, like, their obsession meets their job, and they have the ability to tap into that catharsis. Like, MJ himself, he'd be bleeding at his feet, but he would be in such a cathartic state, translating on the court, that he's a GOAT of all time. You know what I mean? Like, that's his love and his passion. Same thing for, you can say Phil Jackson, the coach, is the same way, where he blacks out. He played the game. He loves the game, but he blacks out when he's coaching. He can see shit nobody else sees. You know what I mean?
Did he say that?
No. I'm just saying, like, in general, like, I don't have no evidence of them directly saying that, but just from words that they say, when they describe focus, I think it's the same thing. When Michael's talking about when he played at Madison Square Garden, and he put the Jordan 1s on just because he knew it was the last time he'd ever play there, and at the end of the game, his feet were bleeding, and he didn't like even know the pain was happening until the end. You know what I mean?
Right.
That's because he's
insane.
He's in a trance. He's in one of those modes, and it's the same thing for us, where it's like, damn, I've had to pee for 5 hours. I had to eat for the last 5 hours. Like, I haven't returned no phone calls. Like, you know what I mean?
Right.
Like, you know, it's crazy when it's like your girl's trying to hook up with you and you're not even going. You know what I mean? You're just like,
right.
I gotta fix these 808s. Like,
Right. Nothing else matters as much in that moment.
Yeah, exactly. And yeah, it's a beautiful thing, man. Like we're very fortunate, like to be able to have. Because no matter what happens in my life, I'll always have music. No matter what happens, no matter if the world goes to war, if the depression kicks in full force, no matter what happens, like no matter who passes away, anything, I'll always have music. You'll always have your videos.
Right.
It's a beautiful thing.
It is. It really is. How many times? Like how often? Like what percentage of sessions would you say that you get into that mindset? Is it every time, or just you have to really work for it?
Definitely not every time. With her, everybody
me neither.
was here because we had like camaraderie, and it was more of like that fratty. You just locked in with like-minded homies, and it don't matter like if y'all splitting 9 double cheeseburgers throughout the day. You know what I mean? Like everybody's in their $5 to get as much weed as possible, and blah blah blah. Like when you're in those moments and you getting those little needs met, it kind of like sets off a chain reaction where it's like I've hit all my needs, I'm gonna go crazy. But like now these days my needs are different. You know what I mean? Like I got way bigger issues than I've ever had before. Not issues, but just like bills and life and growth and shit.
Priorities change.
Yeah, and that stress can block that function. That stress can make you like you be in video editing blocks. What are they called? Like writers.
Yeah, creative blocks. Yeah, totally.
Yeah, like creative blocks kind of fuck that up. And as you get older, I feel like it's easier. The world throws way more distractions and shit your way that makes creative blocks like way more prevalent. But
yeah, right, totally.
Yeah, sometimes I just be real grateful, go downstairs and just I'm in it. Sometimes I'm just hitting the right kill streak of beats. Like, damn, this beat raw. I just made another raw beat. I may as well write a little bit. Damn, I'm
right.
Mic. I'm rapping on my real mic. Now I put a verse on this. I'm gonna put a verse on this, and I'm gonna, you know what I mean? Like,
right.
It's beautiful. I'm just getting geeked up. I can't wait to get to work.
Yeah, dude, that's fucking awesome. And for you, is there like is it either it happens or it doesn't, or is there like a ritual you have to like fall into that, or what helps you get there?
I smoke a lot of weed. I damn near like.
Weed helps me get there so much too.
You said what?
I really smoke very occasionally, but when I do, if I am having a block like that and I have some, then I can really fall into it.
I'm sure by like this conversation, people can tell that I have a very borderline manic personality. Like I just like.
Really? Yeah. I see it as passion. I see it as you're a passionate guy.
I appreciate it. Yeah, I feel like it's passion as well. And the weed really helps me to just like slow down and process everything and not feel so like I be feeling like I gotta like hit the ground running. I wake up and I feel like I gotta hit the ground running. And the weed helps me realize like I gotta relax and kind of surf. Like right now I've been fishing for moments. I got the luxury of doing that. You know what I mean? I got the time and the structure like to really sit back and fish for these moments. I can spend a whole day relaxing and working on myself and thinking, pondering, watching YouTube videos on how to fucking catch it. I be watching videos about how to catch fish and cook fish on the beach because that's what I'm gonna do.
Yeah,
I mean
that's crazy. I went through that phase too. Go on.
It's raw and like that shit'll make me go work, or I'll watch a video about Aruba or Mexico or Hawaii or some shit and learn about all the wildlife, and then that shit will make me go work because now I realize like I gotta fish for these moments in these feelings, and the feelings that really get me now is just like. This is my time to create my future. Like I did the shit that people thought I would never do. I did all these festivals. I worked with celebrities. I fucking been all over the world. I did all that shit. Everybody told me I couldn't do it. That's why I'm changing my name. I don't know if I told you that. I'm changing my name. I'm about to just straight up Freddie. I shouldn't even say it. I'm just Freddie Got Magic. And
fire, very fire.
Next album. That's my last album as Supa because really I did everything that I wanted to do as a 17-year-old kid. You know what I mean? 17. I was like, man, I'm never finna jump the fence at Lollapalooza again. I'm gonna fucking play Lollapalooza next time I go. I jumped the fence
yeah.
The next time.
Wow, that's crazy. Do you feel like how like Madlib has like Quasimodo, for example?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Do you feel like it's an alter ego or it's just you like?
I mean, I'll always be Supa. You know what I mean? Like Lil Wayne became Tunchi or whatever, but then that's Lil Wayne. You know?
Right. Yeah.
As like I'm always Supa. Like I'm not like ashamed of who I am or the persona that I built. I don't even think it's even a persona. It's just like me. I just hate that nobody can say the name. You know what I mean? I hate that.
Really? Do people have trouble with it?
Yeah, people like Supa Bwe, BWE. People write my shit up all the time, and they'll be like BWE in caps, like it's an abbreviation or some shit.
Yeah.
It's just really fucking.
But that's just like a music journalist will do that.
Yeah, all the time.
I mean, they got to do their research, but I guess I can see why. But that just seems like a lack of research, maybe.
Yeah, and even when I meet people, people will be like, "What do I call you, Supa or Freddie?" And I feel like a dickhead telling people like Supa. I don't even like refer to myself as Supa, because it seems weird. And I damn near only got a rap name because when I was 17, I thought you had to have a rap name to be a rapper. You know what I mean? Like I thought it was like,
right.
You want to be a superhero? You gotta have a fucking superhero name. You know what I mean?
Right. So Freddie feels more personal. It sounds like.
Yeah, it's my name, and I've been saying Freddie Magic forever. I scream it in like all my songs, even in the Hurt It Right shit. I'm Freddie God Magic and screaming, and really that's what it is. Like I feel like my willpower is so immense and powerful that I've literally been able to will things into existence. And I'm not saying that on some weirdo third eye shit because that shit's fake and weird, but I'm saying that on some I literally graduated high school with like 24 credits. You're supposed to have like 38, 40 something credits to graduate. They're like, get the fuck out of here. You're an asshole. You know what I mean? Like, been fired from every job I've ever had. Like, about the last job I had, I got to a fight with the cook because he was racist and he was an asshole at the Hard Rock.
Well, fuck him.
2012. That's the last time I ever worked a real job. And, this is a real job. The last time I ever worked for somebody else. That's what I should say. And,
had a boss.
I used to sell drugs and shit. I quit selling drugs. Like, I got tired of the plugs and like, it was just, I couldn't trust myself around motherfuckers. It's like, eventually I'm gonna lick you. So I can't even like, this is stupid. You know what I mean? Like all these niggas gonna kill me one day. And like, I just gave everything up and sacrificed everything to music. Cause this music shit is for real. It's the only thing that I could black out and do and love and cherish forever. You know what I'm saying? Like this shit.
Right. And it can't be taken away from you. It's like it's with you no matter what.
Yeah. Like even now, I'm learning so much about hip hop. Every day, I'm learning so much about hip hop. Like people love to talk about Takashi and shit. Like now that he's back out, everybody's, oh, what do you think about this? What do you think about snitching? What do you think about this? And it's like, I don't really care. I don't really care to talk about none of that. Like everybody knows.
Why would you? Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, we all know what everything is. Like. What else do you want to talk about? You know?
Right. People are talking in circles. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Going in circles about it, like making sides and factions and shit. That shit's weird. Like I want to keep this shit as not Democrat and Republican as possible, and make sure hip hop stays just like hip hop. There's no reason that 6'4" can't get the same respect as fucking
AR.
Hoodie,
Yeah, right. You're talking about 645 AR?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's just like, I don't know. It's like hip hop is just a big, diverse ass kingdom, and we need to protect ourselves from the industry and protect ourselves from these predators and protect ourselves from these other genres that don't recognize, black and brown artists and force them into our genre. Like Lil Nas couldn't get his little country shit on because the country motherfuckers was like, "Look at your black ass out of here." Boy.
Yeah. Probably so much racism involved with that. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, we got so much other shit to worry about. Like, we gotta stop nitpicking and being jealous and like hating on each other. Like, black men so competitive, and like that's how it's been. Like, that's how it's always been for us. And like, it's time for us to walk past that. Like, that's another thing with Hurt Everybody that we really tried to focus on. Like, it's okay to be hurt. It's okay to lose sometimes. It's okay. A motherfucker got one up on you. Like, you ain't gotta show back to the party and shoot it up. You know what I mean? Like,
right. Yeah.
It gotta be that at all. Like, just walk away, go somewhere else, do something else. Like, you know what I mean? Like, don't hate on it.
There's a different way to like go about things. And what you were saying with like the predators and stuff, like I'm assuming you mean like within the music industry.
Yeah.
Is that people will like work to a certain point to where those predators like either like try and sign them or whatever it may be, and then
business practices like that label shit's all story.
Right. Which and then because that comes with the promise of potentially so much money, like millions or whatever it may be, they'll turn their back on what like try to diminish like from what other people got going on, or basically like just buy into this promise of like a better life so much that they like forget like everything that like got them there to an extent.
Yeah, and a lot of times you don't really have a choice. A lot of times the label's just like, yeah, you got all this raw ass music, but we don't believe in it, and since this is our money, you're gonna talk about.
You have to do this. That would suck so much. I can't even imagine like having made what you wanted for so long independently, and then you give up creative control and shit. Like, man, that would really, yeah.
That's why community is so important. Like, that's why it's really important to have an artistic community of people that you can actually lean on and bank on and learn with and know. You know what I mean? Like, I recently started managing. I manage an artist named
I saw that, yeah.
Raw. He produced. You ever heard the song "Three Vets" by the Future Kings?
Mm-mm.
It's like one of those TikTok songs. It's a really fucking big record, and really my biggest thing right now, like before I was mentoring him, he's 17, and he was in that same loop where his records started getting bigger, and people were hitting him with just like predatory business practices, like crazy shit. Like producers,
yeah.
For any producer watching this right now, if you produce a song for somebody, do your split sheets. They owe you 50% of the earnings. As a producer, you get 50% of the publishing. There's 100% publishing. 50% goes to writers, 50% goes to producers. A lot of people will try and say, well, since I paid the leasing fee, I don't have to give you any publishing. Or since I, bought it exclusively, I don't have to give you publishing, which is not true. And they were trying to do this with him, And the record ended up being huge. Three Vets is a huge record. And right now we're in like legal battles with them to secure his 50% because it's like some real shady shit going on. But
yeah,
had it not been for the community that he's a part of and the community that together we're building and me and my friends have and that we're a part of, that would have been just another story of a kid who's made tens of thousands of dollars and ends up with fucking nothing. You know what I mean? And that happens to us all the time. Like, that's why people have to go to labels in the end, because like, you want to fund this dream. You want to become a career artist. You know what I mean? Like, you want this to be your career, but it seems unobtainable when you got to work, you got to go to school, you got to pay rent, you got to balance your social life, you got to pay for studio time, you don't know no producers, you spent $3,000 shopping with a bunch of scam artists until you find somebody real to work with. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, right.
Sticky. This shit's sticky as hell.
Yeah, that's such a good, and I really hope that producers and videographers, like any kid that really plans to make their money doing something creative in the music industry, it pays attention to what you just said, because even as a videographer, any opportunity a label will have to either delay your payment, not pay you what you earned or are worth, or not pay you at all, they're going to take it. They are going to take that opportunity. They're not going to like find it out of the kindness of their heart to make sure you get like what you earned. Like, no. So really pay attention to what you just said. Like, rewind that and listen, because that's a very real thing.
Yeah, and I've been managing because I have a passion for that. I realized recently also that like, I love the music. I always do the music. That's why I'm here. But also I love the game. You know what I mean? Like, I love the booking aspect. I love the touring aspect. I love the management aspect. I love the artist development part of it. Like, the whole industry is not even an industry. It's just culture, and it's become industrial. You know what I mean? And I think with my new management firm, it's me and my homie Noah. We 50-50 co-own it. But with our management firm, we're really just trying to create career artists. Like, we're showing artists how to fill out their publishing rights so that they have Sound Exchange and Harry Fox and all these other applications that labels charge you to collect your money from. You know what I mean? Like, you get more money from just Spotify. There's all these different companies that collect money and just hold it and never give it to you unless you ask for it. And these are things artists don't know. You know what I mean? And yeah, I feel like I'm transitioning. Like, I'll always be an artist, but I'm transitioning into coach mode right now, and it feels good. And I'm really hoping that the industry gets more coaches, like on both sides, the video side, the audio side, the film industry, all of it. We need more coaches. We need more millennials and Gen Zers stepping up and displacing all this weird boomer shit going on.
Yeah, 100%. With that being said, it looks like everything, cameras, laptops, everything's dying. So we definitely got to do a part two, because that was fucking awesome. But I think it's a good time to wrap it up. And yeah, that was amazing. I really appreciate you being the first guest, honestly.
Yeah, man. Thanks for having me. This was really fucking dope.
Yeah, dude. We got some. I feel like there's a lot of shit that like young people can learn from in this conversation right here.
Word. All right, real quick.
Yep.
10 Flavor Flavs or 5 Lil Uzis.
Flava Flav at his current age.
Yeah, current Flav.
Okay. 5 Uzis.
5 Uzis for sure.
Yeah, dude. He'll just do spin kicks over and over, and that's gonna be that's gonna be a wrap on that one. I feel like Uzi's a strong guy. He can fight for sure.
Yeah, definitely. I would want to fight 5 Uzis.
No, I wouldn't want to fight.
I would fight 3 Uzis. I wouldn't fight 5.
With 3 of you versus 3 of him.
No, 1 me, 3 Uzis. I think I can do it. But I'm a dangerous motherfucker like this on Uzi.
Yeah. You got some experience under your belt and all that.
Yeah, I'm definitely finna.
Yeah.
Kill one of them.
Oh shit. Well, all right, dude. Thanks so fucking much for being on again.
Yeah, no doubt.
All right, dude. Have a good one.
Peace.